She got a moon and the stars, Mercury and Mars, Venus and Neptune, feel it in your heart. It's time for Star Slammers.
Hello, it's Danielle Mercurio, and let's talk about the summer solstice. So summer solstice comes around when we change into the summer season, and that coincides with the zodiac. So essentially, when the sun moves into Cancer on June 20th at 4:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that kicks off summer. It also activates the longest solar sun day of the year. Now, this applies if you're in our northern hemisphere. So having us move into a time, a period where we're able to maximize our light is something that we want to think about. And when we think about moving into this notion of our light, we want to think about it from the space of what drives us creatively. What motivates us to want to show up? Where do we want to be visible? Where do we want to maximize our potential? And when we're doing it from a space of, I desire this for myself, so that then it can be a contribution to the way that we rise up as a collective. We have to start thinking more responsibly when we're looking at what it is that we want to manifest, what it is that we want to bring to light in the world. Because as we do that from a space of being positive and optimistic, we also recognize and realize that what it is that we want, what it is that we desire, has a responsibility within the framework of our collective. It's so important for us to note that, especially now, because here's something else that's really interesting about this summer solstice. So right now we are in the year 2024, and 12 years ago, winter solstice, December 21st, 2012, we entered what is known as the age of Aquarius. It is also known as the golden age, the new age, the age of technology. And it was believed that moving into this age after 2,000 years of being in the age of Pisces, that we would come together as a more harmonious collective. But in order to do that, we had to drop false prophets. We had to drop ways that we were fighting from each other. We had to drop this notion that we were separate, that we were meant to be opposing each other, and instead start to look at our society, at our collective, like that of nature, like that of something that is meant to ebb and flow and change and progress and evolve. Now more than ever, we need to recognize and really just get on board with the fact that whether we want to or not, we are here to evolve. The ancients believed that when we moved into the age of Aquarius, it would be considered a bit of a chaotic, dark time, that there would be upset, but that was to rile things up enough to recognize where change was needed. It was believed to be known that this period that we're currently in would be solidified as the metamorphosis, as the onset, as the inertia that would bring us to greater good. And you, my love, are a part of that. And so when we think about that, when we think about how we are living here in these times, you have a choice to decide how you're going to show up in it. You have a choice to decide that this is why I'm going to be here. This is why I'm going to believe in change. This is why I'm going to believe in what's possible. And I'm going to look at the ways I thought I was separate. I'm going to notice where I've held myself back because I was afraid of being rejected, where I was lacking direction. And so my life felt meaningless. Where can we start to reclaim who we are and find direction from that space so we can find meaning going forward? That is all of what this current transit is attributing to. Further, we look at when summer solstice happens. If we look at our calendar year, summer solstice happens during a 6-month, okay? June is 6. So when we start the year, and it's January 1st for whatever reason, right? So we start the year on January 1st, but we want to think about that as a 1 month, infancy, newness. We're not really in a space where we're able to accomplish it all. Okay, that's a misunderstanding with the energy of one. One is the seed has been planted. And then from that space, it starts to grow. And over the last 6 months, we've been in a growing space, in a nurturing space, in a portal of curiosity. And now that we've entered 6 is kind of looks like a little pregnant woman, right? What is it that you're birthing? What is it that you are creating? Now you have enough clarity. Now you have enough info. Now you should have enough reassurance of taking off from here. The next 6 months of the year are meant to be more of an accelerated pace. 7, July, you're on the right path. 8, August, we have Lionsgate, 888 this year. What is it that is fully accelerating? 9, it's being birthed, my friends. And then we move into 10, 11, 12, working up into mastery. Okay. So recognize if you feel like, oh my gosh, the year is halfway and I haven't accomplished anything, great. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. It is the next 6 months that is the key to moving things forward, to taking what you learned, taking what you had to let go of and attributing that to where you're going. So look at this month, look at summer solstice as a pivotal time for your growth, and do not look at it as a time of, oh my gosh, I haven't accomplished anything, because that's not true, because energetically you've moved through a lot. Think about the realizations that you've had, some of the changes you started implementing, the ways that you've adapted to where you are now. That all contributes to what is currently happening in your life and where you can go from here. Okay. So take that seriously. We want to remember too, when the seasons are moving, it's not an end. A lot of times we look at, okay, this is over, this ended. No, if we look at time, time doesn't ever end. Time works in a loop. Time works in a non-linear fashion, right? So if time works in a non-linear fashion, if it's constantly looping around, there is no ending. Okay, when you end a relationship, you say you end the relationship, you are closing out the journey of the two of you together. And you're saying this is complete. And from this space of completion, we will both then move forward. We are both transformed by this experience, but we didn't end. You both didn't cease to exist because the relationship was over. You both decided, whether you liked it or not, that we are going to try something new, that this relationship is ready to change. It is ready to go into a transformation. It is ready to move you into a metamorphosis. So there never is an ending. And when we look at things that way, we realize that we are just meant to keep going, that we are just meant to keep evolving. Life, the point of why we're here is to evolve. Your existence is meant to grow. And the more that you get on board with that, the easier life actually becomes, because you can let go of these perceived endings. You can release the idea that you're doing anything wrong, that you haven't accomplished enough, or that you didn't take something further, and recognize, I took this as far as it can go. And just like the seasons, I must change. I must evolve. I must transform. So how can I look at my life as it currently stands and see the transformation that is available, and then use that transformation to leverage yourself forward, to recognize the only place to go is ahead. And the more that you trust that, the more the universe, the powers that be, become the vehicle, become the wheel to keep you rolling. Another interesting thing about where we are right now, as it relates to the Aquarian age. So like I said, 12 years ago, summer solstice, or winter solstice rather, we entered the age of Aquarius. The last time winter solstice, where we entered the age of Aquarius, we had Jupiter in Gemini. So Jupiter moved into Gemini in May of this year. The last time Jupiter and Gemini were together was when we entered into the Aquarian age. This current summer solstice, Jupiter and Gemini will be 2 degrees away from where they were winter solstice 2012, when the Aquarian age was activated. Okay, this is the first time Jupiter is back in the spot it's in the Aquarian age. That's really significant. Jupiter is about growth. It is about moving things forward. It is about momentum. It is about fortune. It is about realizing that all of your needs are met at all times. You just have to release the noise of what society told you wealth is. You just have to take a step back and say, what does it mean to be wealthy? What does it mean to be healthy? What does it mean to exist here on this earth knowing that I'm always taken care of? And then you get to kind of define where it goes from there. But again, we have a responsibility in the way that we're carrying things forward, that as your needs are met, something is being met within the collective as well. As my needs are being met, I'm meeting a collective need. It has to be both. Otherwise, you're going to fall into an ego trap. You're going to be considered selfish, and you're not going to get as much accomplished here in this life. And you're just going to come back around and have to do it all over again. Because again, there is never an end. There's only a way forward. There's only infinite possibilities. So the more that you master that, the more you understand that, the more you progress forward. It is kind of like a video game. Okay. So do you want game over because you were selfish and you were just trying to figure things out for yourself? Or do you want to move to the next level because you're factoring in yourself and the collective? It's about you and it's about us. That's how metamorphosis is going to work in this age, in these times that we're in. So Jupiter moving into Gemini. Gemini is about curiosity. It is our anthropologist. It is the one that is able to see things differently, but it's also able to bring in others into their process. How are you able to trust your process and make progress from that space? Well, once again, factoring in others. So we're in a really interesting space right now. And this space that we're in is not asking us to be separate, but asking us to see where we've allowed separateness to be created because of the noise that is around us. Because we are so connected, we need to reframe our connection as noisy. We need to release our addiction to drama. We are addicted to drama. We say we don't like it. We say the world is too much. We say everything is falling apart. And yet there's a part of us that may be addicted to that may be reliant on that may be clinging to the noise. So if you're tired of the noise, if you're tired of the drama, you have to say, I am over it. Enough of feeding into this reality show that is this life. And instead, I am going to reel it back and lean into this notion of what would it be like to be simple for a little bit? What would it be like to put my phone down a little bit longer? What would it be like to learn how to automate my life in such a way that I don't have to be so dependent on this machine that keeps making me feel erratic and scattered and like everything is falling apart? We are in a changing world right now. It's true. We can feel it. We feel that things are different. We feel that things are shifting. But instead of realizing that's a beautiful thing, it's very easy to be like, this is a mess. This is not okay. This isn't going to be good. However, we are adaptable beings. We are meant to overcome challenges. We are here to find messages in the mess. And so summer solstice can be that opportunity for you to bring to light where you want to show up from here, to recognize that you are exactly where you're meant to be, to not overthink or stress out about what you didn't do or how did I get here or what, this isn't how I thought my life was going to be, but it is. This is exactly how your life is currently. And from this space, you have a choice to change, to be part of the metamorphosis, to be part of what helps us as a collective overall. But that mentality, that understanding, that mindset really has to be met. So work with the sixth energy, work with this idea of conception, work with this idea of birthing something. Trust that the more that comes to light, the more you can show us who you are. Don't be afraid to be you in this world. Another thing that's happening with this summer solstice is the day that follows will have a full moon. So the full moon, if you follow Western astrology, will be in Capricorn. Now, Mama Moon, she works faster than the sun within a calendar year. So within a calendar year, the sun moves through 12 zodiac signs. Mama Moon, she has an extra moon phase that is built into the framework. There are always going to be 13 moon phases because of her pace. Now, because there's 13 moon phases within every year, there'll be either an extra full moon or an extra new moon. This year, there's going to be an extra full moon. So the full moon that we have on the 21st, coinciding with summer solstice, will then return on July 21st in Capricorn yet again. So we have two back-to-back full moons happening in Capricorn. We have two full moons in this calendar year within this sign. So that's also symbolizing, where are we accelerating? Where are we moving things forward? Please do not be stagnant because the world is so noisy. If anything, create simplicity out of that stagnation. And then from that simplicity, create a clear foundation. And then from that clear foundation, rise, build up. Coinciding with the sun is always Venus. Venus is closer to the sun than it is to Earth. And the way that Venus operates, she starts out the first half of the year as the evening star. So the sun sets and Venus emerges. As we shift out of summer solstice, we'll be moving then into Venus becoming our morning star. Okay. She will utilize the light of the sun to magnetize and rise up in such a way. How are you doing that as well? How are you allowing yourself to accelerate? And accelerate doesn't mean frenzy. It doesn't mean chaotic. Yes, our times and our technology and everything is moving faster than ever before. That doesn't mean that you have to then go at lightning speed. It just means like, okay, there's a lot available right now. From this menu of options, what do I want to pull? What makes the most sense for me while still living my life? It is believed that as we moved into these times, yes, it would be darker. Yes, there would be chaos, but the hope was that it would bring us back to nature. The intention of the ancients was, let this be a civilization that lives creatively, that is able to lean in on the arts, on philosophy, on agriculture, on being one with our earth again. Part of being one with each other also means partly being one with our earth. How can we adapt in that way as well? So these are things to think about with this changing season as we move into summer, as we move into, having 2 loaded full moons. We're going to be moving into Lionsgate in August, which, 2024, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8. So that means Lionsgate is going to be 888, triple 8, infinite acceleration. How are you preparing yourself? And this isn't to put stress on you at all. This is just to say, hey, what is most important? Where can I allow some direction and some clarity? How can I get out of my own way? How can I find more meaning? And from that space, just show up for it a little bit every day, to bring in your gratitude, to weave into your desires and what it is that you want, us as a collective. We're all part of this framework together. And the more that you understand that, the more you will actually make steps forward, the farther you will get, and the more it will enhance us all. But if you're contributing to the noise, to the drama, to everything's falling apart, then that's going to stall us a little bit. So do you want to be stalled with your growth and how we move forward as a collective, or you want to claim the fact that I'm here for a reason? There are things I want to do. And from that space of what I want to do, I'm going to lean into the fact that we are moving into a space where we actually, by the powers that be, are being encouraged to live more creatively. That in this age of technology, we are being given new spiritual practices and gifts. We are morphing technology in a way that it hasn't worked for us, in the ways that the internet and email has failed us. And we're moving into more automated intelligence that will help move your life forward in a way to make it a lot easier and a lot more transparent, so that we can focus on your gifts, that we can focus on what you're meant to do in this life and not keep showing up for a matrix, for an outdated program, for a way of living that honestly needs to be archived. If we look at some of the ways that we have been living, it's not really stuff to be proud of. And so how can you help us in creating a future that we're proud of? And that is more electric. And it's going to take time. We're only 12 years into the Aquarian age. So how can you contribute to that in this lifetime? How can you say yes? How can you be a little bit more optimistic? How can you trust that the changes that are happening are for our highest good, but you have to do your due diligence and pull the good out of it, and also do it with a we persona. If anyone is out there preaching and very singular and claiming all the wealth and leaving people high and dry, that's probably not your prophet. That's probably not the person that's going to save us. You're the one that can save us. And it can be from your own autonomy, from your own ability to see the light from within and then extend that light outwards. And as you do that, look around and say, where can I help? Where can I show up? Where can I be a voice? Why am I here? If you want to go deeper and understand that and help answer those questions, join me either 2 ways. One can be through my summer solstice experience. Will be happening on Thursday evening. You can join me live, get the replay, do it anytime over the coming weeks. And then I will also be in Philadelphia on Friday evening doing a sound bath and yoga nidra experience where we'll be enhancing upon these energies. Summer solstice is really a beautiful portal where we are moving out of the gateway of spring, of awakening, of seeing what's available, what's possible, and then moving through that gateway into transformation, into stepping it up, into maximizing the light and what's possible. I appreciate you. I adore you. Let's do this.